Howdy gang, this is the Roaming Prepper and I am Pete because that's what they told me my name is. Anyway, I'm back at the range today. Today we're going to have a new trial. I went to a tournament, clay shooting tournament recently. I was invited by a fellow service member and it was supposed to be 5-guy team. Only 2 of us showed up, so we had all the raffle tickets anyway. And I won a new pistola. I'm going to field test it and review it and see if this is going to be my new carry piece or a tournament piece. Hadn't decided yet, but let's take a peek at it. We'll have some fun and we're going to operate safely, so I will be right back. What is going on, boys and girls? Welcome back, and thank you for coming to check out the channel. Everything's blowing everywhere today because it's Texas. I'm ready to start my morning. I have my bougie coffee from the company that doesn't like guns, but that's okay because Black Rifle Coffee was on the other side of town and I didn't want to drive that far. Anyway, first of all, safety. When you're on the range, I have a range bag with all the implements, tools, and equipment I may need. Also have my little first aid kit, and I bought this off the shelf years ago, but then I added to it. So this stays in the door, driver's side door of my pickup truck, because I mean, that makes sense, right? I want to get hurt or I get injured and now I'm digging in the back of the truck. That's stupid. So it's right there on my side, but I left enough room in my get home bag that I can pull this out and stuff it in the other bag, and I'm golden. Of course, something I don't want to use ever, a tourniquet. I do need to upgrade it. A few preppers have tried them on themselves, and some of them have failed. So I'm going to upgrade this tourniquet, but for now, at least I know the material will hold. I've used it a bit. Got the tourniquet. Obviously, I don't intend to shoot myself, but, you know, when you're in a range, you should have a first aid kit. Also, as you saw in the introductory part of the video, I have my hearing protection, I have my eye pro, and of course I got targets that are correct targets. They're not some janky things that'll ricochet or explode. Proper targets, this one for sighting in, this one for fun, and the new product. So, true story, I went to a clay shoot out here. It was a charity shoot. I was invited by another energy sector guy who also a service member. I now owe him a bottle of bourbon because it was supposed to be a 5 or 6 man team, and I was subbing, right? I was like, somebody got sick. He called in and said, hey, I can't make it. He invited the guys, and they said, yeah, ask Pete to go. So I showed up, and he and I were the only guys who showed up for the team. So instead of a 5 or 6 man team, it was 2 knuckleheads. So I had a good time, good shoot. I shot crappy because I'm out of practice. But I won this puppy. So this is the Sigg SAO 226. Those of you in the military will remember it as the I believe it's the M17. It is a 9mm double stack. This is not a double action like the normal M17. It is a single action only. It's actually referred to as the Sigg Legion by some folks. I don't remember where it got the name. Complete with the Red Dot Romeo sight. It is a full-size pistol, as you can see, and it is metal framed. It is not light, but it should be a fun gun to shoot. It does not, you'll notice, so looking from front to back, I'm going to leave that in there. You have the raised sights, so they co-witness with the Red Dot. The Red Dot is a Sigg, and I'm going to check it for 0 today. It is a semi-auto right-handed ejection. It does have a thumb safety, and unlike the Beretta where up is fire and down is shoot, this is more like the classic 1911 safety. Down is shoot, right? Which is more like the HK safeties on the older HKs. It's what I originally trained with. I had to unlearn it to carry an M9 Beretta, and now I'm field testing this puppy. Has a takedown lever here. What you do, you lock the slide back, turn the lever, and then release the slide and it comes forward. Pulls apart very similar to the Glock or the HKs. You have a barrel, the buffer spring or the recoil spring, you have the guide rod, then you have the lower and upper frames, and then of course the mag itself. You notice it has the curved trigger. It's not the flat trigger you see on some of the tournament Siggs. Oh, that was exciting. It does have a double stack mag. This one is a 15 rounder. I have seen 17. Remember, if you are going to travel across state lines, make sure you have the mag that is appropriate for the state you're going through. Now, obviously, here in Texas, the way the reciprocity works, I could go from Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, Oklahoma, Louisiana. I can pretty much go all the way across the southern states, from Florida to Texas. Actually, I changed that. I can take I-10 from Florida all the way across the U.S. till I hit California, at which point I can't go into Cali, which is silly, but I can't. And pretty much all the northern states except Seattle and New York City and New York State. Ironically, Maine allows the higher capacity magazines, and so does New Hampshire. They register, but then everyone has a gun, so it's like kind of like silly. But anyway, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you're from those states, and the northern states, Maine and New Hampshire, and I said that wrong, please let me know. Anyway, very heavy pistol. Obviously, it's metal top and bottom. It's not polymer like the VP9. It does have the tack rail. And we're going to give it a spin. So the function test today, I simply am going to put rounds through it. I'm going to check for 0 on this target to make sure that the red dot is lined up the right way. Inside the box, it will come with the 2 mags, as you can see. Comes with some tools for the red dot. And it comes with the gun lock, which is not a bad idea if you don't have a safe or you have kids. I mean, I'm an advocate of safe storage, obviously. And the nifty Pelican case. Now, important thing to notice, which I already discovered, is that this weapon, unlike a lot of SIGs where it's double or single action, this is single action only. This is like a 1911. In other words, for those of you unfamiliar, I have to pull the hammer back to shoot it, and then once I've shot it, the hammer each time it shoots, the slide will go back and the hammer will remain back. Unlike a double action, which when the hammer's down, like my other HK, I pull the trigger, the first shot's a long trigger pull, bam, there goes the hammer, and then when the first shot fires, the slide stays back, or the slide comes back, leaves the hammer back. This one, I have to put the hammer back. That's new. I have not carried a single action only pistol before. So you have a couple of options. One is to carry it with nothing in the chamber, hammer down, which is the safest. But then if you need it in emergency, you're going to have to draw, rack the slide, get around in the chamber, and then come up to target. And that could cost you seconds. The other option is to carry it hammer back, bullet in the chamber, full mag, safety on. Basically, I believe it's condition 1. I may be saying it backwards, but you guys know what I'm saying. Basically, ready to fire. So you pull it out, drop the hammer, and go, which is how the old 45s are often carried. That becomes a question of shooter preference, but this is my first single action only fully auto or semi-auto pistol, not fully auto. So I'm going to give it a whirl. I want to check, as I said, today I'm checking function check. I've already cleaned it and tore it down. Function check, accuracy, and then I want to test how I like shooting it. Of course, my carry piece is a VP9, and again, this is a double action. So when I pull the trigger, it has no hammer, unlike this guy. When I pull the trigger, it will release the striker. So, but I won't be shooting this puppy today, although I might get a wild here and shoot them together. By comparison, this is the HK VP9 next to the Sigg. The VP9 is slightly, maybe a hair longer than the Glock 19. So those of you guys who have Glocks, if you have a Taurus, not the little Taurus, but the big Taurus, the, oh shoot, is it the G3? I don't own the Taurus automatic, so I don't remember, but the bigger Taurus, it's roughly this size. So this is what they would call not a long barrel, but a more standard compact. And then the Springfield XDS, the Kimber Micro 9, those would be subcompacts, little guys. So you can see roughly the same. I'm not going to play with that HK too much because it is loaded. So I'm going to reholster this puppy, and this is the guy we're going to shoot today. But I just wanted to give you a basis of comparison if you're thinking of buying the Sigg 226. Even if it's not the Legion model with the red dot and all the other bougie shit. It's a good sized pistol, but it is a big handgun. Now, for those of you who are newer shooters or smaller... All right, guys, so I got my hand in the camera and then I dropped the phone, so I cut myself short there. In any case, what we're going to do, this guy's going to get reholstered. This is the guy we're testing today. I'm going to check function. I'm going to check the red dot. Then I'm going to check the iron sights by turning off the red dot. I'm going to check both mags. And then I may get a wild hair and shoot this one just to compare. This is lighter frame, but this is polymer with a metal slide. This is metal top and bottom with polymer handles. So this is going to be a heavier carry. But with the heavier carry, you get more stability. For those of you who are newer shooters, even if you're smaller statured, you may want to consider learning on a bigger pistol because you have less felt recoil, depending on your caliber. And then as you get experience and confidence, go to a smaller piece. So I'm going to go set up. First target is the sight-in target. I'll be right back. Okay, something I forgot to mention earlier. So the Sigg light or the Sigg sight, you push and hold the button to turn it on, the same to turn it off. Small pushes increase the intensity of the light, the brightness, if you will. It comes with a little cover that you, in theory, pop off. Apparently I need two hands. And then it can be adjusted for windage and elevation. The windage and the elevation are respectively on the top and the side of the red dot. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I'm going to start loading mags, and I'm going to get to shooting here. Not sure if you can see, but that is... Whoa. Anyway, that would be the sight picture. I don't know if you can see the red dot. I'm trying to hold too many things in my hands at once, but that's your sight picture. So just wanted to share. Hey, so by the way, I forgot my tripod. So I've kind of rigged up the camera with an empty ammo box and some other shit. So it's distinctly possible that the camera will fall while I'm trying to shoot. But we'll figure that out then. So, Sigg 226, single automatic, single action only, safety is now on. 4 rounds. What I'm gonna do is, because I'm already carrying my carry piece, I'm going to pop this guy in my butt pocket for now. And as long as I don't stick the wrong mag in the pistol and jam them all up, I should be good. So let's see. God, it's sandy as shit out here. I'm shooting a little off to the left, and it could be I was favoring because I knew I was about to do a mag swap. But shoots really well. It's because of its weight, it has a nice balance to it. So, you know, one of the drills I like to do is just a couple of rounds in one mag, a couple in another. Not necessarily the same number of rounds. You start shooting, when you lock open, swap mags. Get used to that physical motion. You could do this at the house. Empty firearm, of course. Do mag drills. Click, drop, swap, put it in. Do stuff like that. It's important to have competency as much as you can. I'm no professional by any means. I do love to shoot. I'm decent, and I'm safe, and I'm competent. I'm not a competitive level guy. But do those training sets. If you got a revolver, learn how to use those speed loaders. You can't emphasize enough the training side. you don't want to learn to train in the middle of a situation. You got an adrenaline dump going, someone's trying to grab you, or you're trying to run away, and you suddenly realize you have to escalate, and because your life's in danger, and your hands will be shaking. No matter how experienced you are, you're gonna be in that zone, and you don't want to put the mag in backwards or drop it or trip and fall. You know, get used to those motions, and slow is fast. So when you're training, take your time. And if you get a chance, check out Tarsha, Triple Threat. She is a USCCA instructor, and she can preach to this choir all day long, and she's very good at it. Take the time to learn the fundamental competencies, because it'll pay a dividend in an emergency. I'm just having fun out here, but yeah, if I was actually going to go to a tournament and hit multiple targets and compete against other people who train, I'd need to get my training on big time, more than I have. So I'm kind of slacking in that respect. Anyway, I'm going to finish up here. I just thought you'd like to see it in action a little bit. And yeah, we'll go wrap it up here in a minute. Hey guys, so already cleaned the pistol. Just wanted to conclude the video on a quick note. So once again, this particular pistol is this one is a single action only, which is not the typical setup for 226 or most of the Siggs. They're usually a double action or single action, is DAO, SAO, or DASA, depending on the acronym you use. It does have the 1911 style safety. You notice this on both sides. We'll point it at the camera, not at my face. There you go. But all in all, it shot great. There are a couple of things that are different, that are unusual. So obviously ejections to the right. I'm not used to having a red dot on a handgun, so that took a little bit of getting used to. I actually zeroed it incorrectly because I was kind of discombobulated with it. I eventually got it sorted out. The iron sights were spot on right out of the box, so I was happy about that. As a single action only, since in order for me to, you can't just shoot it from hammer down with one in the chamber. You actually have to pull the hammer. So you have a couple of options. As I said before, one is to leave it like that, safety on, like an old 45. The other one is to leave it with an empty chamber. Now, some people may try to put a live round in here and then hold their thumb on the hammer and slowly try to release it. You can do that, but it won't be a question of if or when you have an accidental discharge in your house, because you're going to lose that hammer and it's going to set off that round. Personally, since this is a single action only, which was really, like I said, not typical for the Siggs I've dealt with, if I do choose to carry it, it would be condition 1, basically round in the chamber, safety on, and in the holster. Now, a few things also to note is that the iron sights, because they're trying to allow you to look through the red dot in case the red dot fails, you can still use the iron sights without having to do any kind of construction to the weapon or remove the sight. They do co-witness. You have to account for the fact that you're going to have a high fin on the front end. So any holster you get will have to accommodate a higher front sight. And your typical, your typical holsters may not have that accommodation. So you're going to have to do your homework. I certainly will if I choose to carry this one. This one will probably be a custom holster kind of thing, which is fine, or a pancake, like a slide holster. Being able, and also if you put a light or some kind of laser sight on it, you're gonna increase the diameter and the profile of the pistol. Other than that, shot great. Put a couple of 100 rounds through it, no misfires, no jams, no nothing. Shot like a champ. So definitely a great piece. Definitely a cool platform. Different than what I'm used to. So if I decide to start carrying this, I'm going to have to start training with it. How to holster, how to unholster, how to clear, all the things that go with a single action only firearm. Folks, other than that, that concludes this one, boys and girls. So I will put this puppy back where it belongs for now. And until next time, God bless, Godspeed. I hope you guys found this useful, and try to help each other out. And remember, always try to learn something new. Until next time, see you later.